you just have to accept the fact, like, ooh, I didn't go broke with this hand. You know, because he could have easily gone broke with an over and a flush draw had anybody decided to play the hand a little bit different.
Yeah.
And once Bryn checks, I think you just need to give it up.
And I think Bryn actually made a mistake tell-wise there. I think he checked the river way too fast. And that's something that I noticed. It's like, if Bryn had a hand that was like a
flush draw.
Yeah, he would have thought before checking, because you'd be thinking of bluffing. It's his only opportunity to win hand. He checks really fast. That screams to me that you have a hand.
Yeah.
Joe Ebanks.
That screams check call.
Yeah. That's yeah.
Joe Ebanks getting dangerously short, and he's going to move all in under the gun. We do not know what he has yet. It'll be interesting to see. How light are you shoving here before we see what his cards are?
What he has.
Well, he's going to get called, though.
Yeah. Certainly. It looks like he had 12 big blinds.
12 bigs.
It's not that loose. I mean, he's at least has a suited ace or a good ace.
Yeah, I would think like king 9 suited or better.
Well, how about a suited connector, 8-7?
That surprised me a little bit.
That's gonna be he's in a bad spot right now. He's got to get extremely lucky.
Yeah.
But he does have a pretty tight image. He's probably not getting called.
Oh, wow.
Oh, oops.
And Corin picks up aces.
It's actually pretty good for Joe that the way this hand plays out, because he's getting 2-1. He's got to hit his hand twice anyway.
Yeah.
By twice, I mean he has to make 2 pair of trips or a flush or a straight. So it's irrelevant whether he's going against tens or aces. He's going to get extra money in the pot. Beating aces and beating tens are essentially going to be the same thing.
Yeah.
Well, Corin can't figure out Bryn Kenny, but it's always nice to pick up aces when you get an all-in and a call in front of you.
This is you were talking earlier about you could just tell on the river that he's thinking. I think that's also a really great tell. Sometimes you can just look at someone and you can just tell whether they're actually thinking about something or whether they're just like thinking,
pretending
okay, how do I get, like, I have a really big hand, how do I get value? If you look at people, you can really, it's a subtle difference, but you can really tell. And
back over to Lahavit now. What do you do?
I think you have to call.
550,000 back over to him. The pot is 1.1 million, so you're getting about 2-1.
It's not. I mean, he knows Corin has a hand.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no question that he has like ace queen suited at the worst.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's just a matter: is he ever doing that with 9s or 8s or 7s? I mean, or are you dead or flipping with extra money in the pot?
Well, is it a smart play for Corin to do it with a worse hand in the sense that if I can get Lahavit to fold out, I've got dead money in there and I'm getting better odds?
I don't think he expects a lot. At Lahavit, there's just not that much behind, so he doesn't really expect him to fold here. And I mean, in Amir should.
How does Joe like his hand right now?
He waited. Yeah, he called. I mean, he waited all this time, and then he runs into 3 legitimate hands. I mean, even if they didn't pick up hands, Michael had King Jack. He could have called as well. So,
yeah. Well, King Jack, he doesn't mind the call from King Jack.
Yeah, he only has to send once.
That's the hand he doesn't care about as much.
Well, no, but yeah, he's not.
So we've got aces, 10s, 7, 8. 10s has everybody covered, by the way.
Yeah. I think there is actually someone folded a 10 as well. So
I think aces are probably going to win this.
We got 7, 8s got outs. The 10s are dead.
10s are.
7, 8's got some outs now, looking for a 10 or a 5.
He has 1 10 and 4 5s.
Yeah, I think so. I think I saw someone fold like 10 4 or something like that.
Let's go ahead and see the river.
Either 6 outs or 5 outs. Here's the river. It's a 7. He pairs a 7. It's not going to be good. Corin more than doubles up. Joe Ebanks, who we didn't, unfortunately for him, just absolutely card dead. He didn't really play a hand all day. The 30-year-old is engaged. He's got a baby on the way, so congratulations to him. And obviously not happy right now, but hopefully in a few days it'll set in that he just earned himself $63,000. So not a bad payday.
I mean, that was, by the look of it, he was hamstrung by the cards all day. I mean, the 7, 8 of clubs, he could fold it, but I don't fault it. He hasn't to.
Yeah, sometimes you just, with Joe, he goes out in 7th, and what did you do wrong? You did nothing. You just went card dead, and especially the blinds raise fast, and if you don't pick up any hand at all, you're just going to lose your stack fast, and you can see.
You asked about Lonnie Harwood. Lonnie Harwood moves on to the final table.
Oh, there we go.
So our first woman making a final table of an open event. Obviously, they're not counting the employees event yesterday.
Congrats to her.
Aiping Zhua made the final table yesterday in the employee event.
Lonnie's super cool chick. She's a really good player and really nice. And I like her. I'm glad
She defeated
I'm glad
Jason
she did.
Somerville and Nathan Tuthill.
Oh, well, she beat Jason. I don't like that. I like Jason too. I didn't know she was at the same table with Jay, but either one would be good.
This was surprisingly quick.
Lahavat all in for $330,000 with Jack 10. Corin's got him dominated.
Was Corn in the blind?
Corn was in the big blind.
10 blinds, Queen Jack. I think it's fine.
Nothing there right now. King 6 deuce, 2 hearts out there. Not a very good flop for Jack 10 of spades. Lahavat looking for running cards or a 10.
I don't think the 300 really changes Corn's stack at all. And if you can get rid of a player. And
Well, 10 no longer good, as that would give Corn a straight. 3 of spades definitely not going to help him. He needed a queen on the river. It doesn't come. And Amir Lahavat is out. He won a bracelet in 2011. 2013, he finished in 3rd in the main event. Won a ton of money, went over $3 million here. Here he finishes in 6th place and earns himself $83,838.
I think that call. I mean, most of the time you're flipping, and 300,000 isn't going to change Corn's stack at all.
Yeah.
And if he wins, he knocks out another player. He gets that money.
I always visualize a hero call, fold. Never a big bluff. Anyone can bluff. David Clark, though, says ridiculous bluff. Way better than ridiculous good fold or ridiculous good call.
The other value of making the ridiculous call versus the good bluff is the good bluff, you only win the money that's in the pot. When you make the good call, you win the money in the pot plus their bet. So you win a little bit more when you make the good call.
I personally like the call just because you're showing you're showing the whole table and you're showing the person you just beat without kind of showing them up because you have to show your cards.
The great thing about the good call too is
Wheeler's all in with 8s, pretty standard.
And he's going to call from Art.
Corn is going to call.
Art has King of Hearts.
Corn has already eliminated 2 players. Can he eliminate a 3rd? These are the races you have to win if you want to win a tournament.
We're going to see the flop. Flop is 6 of clubs, deuce of spades, 6 of
8 still in the lead on a 6-6 deuce board.
Jason is in the lead with a pair of 8s. Let's go ahead and see the turn. Turn card is
There's the queen of diamonds, and now Wheeler is down to 2 outs. The tables have turned, and Wheeler, 1 card away from being eliminated in 5th place.
Jason's going to need to pick up an 8 on the river, staying here. Let's see the river. The river card is a 3 of hearts.
Hand 82 will be the last hand for Jason Wheeler. Professional poker player gone in 5th place. He will pocket $112,000 for his 5th place efforts, and we are down to 4.
again, I think we would probably all agree, like, Jason did nothing wrong. He just went card dead at the wrong time. And I didn't see the beginning part of this table, but, the only marginal spot was he could have 3-bet all in with the ace-9 versus the queen, but whatever. That was like a marginal spot at best, but it looked like he was just card dead. And like,
he was very active.
Take advantage of what he can see and feel of other people's inclinations to move up the leaderboard as opposed to playing for the win. So, when it comes to these tournament situations, the mathy players are the ones that have the greatest edge. It really doesn't matter like how weak you think your opponent might be. If he puts you all in and you need to be 60%, equity to call him, like there's not much you can do. There just aren't very many hands that are going to put you in that situation. You might feel like the guy is light, and you're looking down at like an ace-8, ace-9 type hand for your tournament life, and you just can't call it no matter what you want to do.
Merson raising on the button to 100,000. Blinds now 25,000, 50,000 with a 5,000 ante. Merson has raised to 100,000 on the button with ace-jack. Kenny all in.
Perfect example.
Exact example you just spoke about. So Merson, based on ICM, Merson should be folding here.
Snap fold here. Like he needs.
Well, he's going to call. Merson's here to play. Merson's here to win. Not looking the ladder up, obviously, and he makes the call.
Well, I guess he has. I guess I misread the blinds here. He does have 32 blinds. He probably can't raise this hand with the intention of folding. Thought he had more like 40 blinds.
7-6-6. A lot of outs here for Merson. He can catch a 7, a jack, or an ace. You can see the outs in the bottom corner of your screen here. Actually, right in the bottom of the center there. 9 outs in all. He can now catch an 8 as well. An 8, a 7, a jack, an ace. He has 12 outs with 1 card to come. Otherwise, Greg Merson will be gone in 4th place. And that is exactly what will happen. A full house for Bryn Kenny, eliminating Greg Merson. And this is a win for Bryn Kenny and a win for the other 2 short stacks.
Absolutely.
And Greg Merson, who was our chip leader at one point, succumbs in 4th place. He'll earn himself $152,000 for his efforts. Now, is there something to be said for, I mean, is there a balancing act in terms of ICM?
Some of these spots, but I mean, at the end of the day, you can't just like blow up for no reason. I mean, in Greggy's spot there, actually, with 32 blinds, there's really nothing else he can do other than, you know, raise call against Bryn. But if, you know, if he had a slightly worse hand there, it's a much tougher spot. I don't think Greggy's necessarily playing for bracelets. I mean, he seems like the guy who's just, you know, playing for money too.
No, I think he's very conscious of ICM and stuff. But like you said, you thought maybe if he had 40 big blinds, it's a snap fold. But with 32 big blinds,
yeah. I mean, when he opens there, he knows what he's doing against Bryn. He's either snap folding or snap calling if Bryn shoves. Like, he knows when he opens there on Bryn's small blind with these chip stacks that Bryn's just going to be shoving a lot. But, you know, the thing is that, like, Ace-Jack just doesn't crush a whole lot of Bryn's shoving range. Just essentially, he's just crushing the worst aces.
Well, here you have it here. Bryn Kenny with 8 million chips. Michael Wang with 1.3. Corn with 1.1. We could get another all-in here, couldn't we?
Yeah, I'd actually be surprised if Bryn doesn't go all in here.
There's the all-in. Corn can't get him in fast enough. He's got queens. And it's Bryn Kenny's king-queen against Artur Corrin's queen-queen.
You just don't even feel that great here with 2 queens. Like, you're 2-1 to get eliminated and miss the pay jump.
And we're talking about an $81,000 pay jump.
It's a big jump, yeah. It's 16.
And he's running well. He really hasn't made a misstep all day. He's bluffed 4 or 5 times. They've all worked. He's made a couple of hero calls. They've worked. His value bets are all getting through. And then, obviously, when he does get it in bad, he's still getting lucky as well. Artur Corrin, just like that, we come back from dinner, and boom, boom, we lose 2 players. Artur Corrin from Vienna, Austria, although I hear that he would chip at disadvantages. 9. If you ever get in a situation like that, do not give up, because 1, 2 double ups, and you're right back in it.
Yeah. Well, I think just about everyone that's played enough poker has done it at some point where you get really short and you come back and end up making a run. And momentum and confidence is a lot of it. And Bryn, when he has the 9-1 chip lead, when he gets heads up in his mind, you try to, think about playing your A game and not getting ahead of yourself. But Bryn's definitely thinking about, all right, I got bracelet number 2 in the bag. So then once it starts getting away from you a little bit, then you kind of, start going, God, I'm going to be so tilted if I lose this after having such a big lead, and maybe it can affect the way you play a little bit. But
it's dangerous if you start picturing losing. If you start worrying about what you're going to feel like if you lose.
Yeah, I haven't seen Bryn pressing at all. He hasn't he hasn't been overly gambly or.
Oh wow, flush draw for both players. Wang with the bigger flush draw. If the heart comes off and it's only 1 heart, this tournament's over.
Yeah. I'm just wondering how. So Mike's going to bet this, and Bryn is going to call or check raise. It's going to be pretty interesting here because, Bryn can't really check raise call off with a 9 high flush draw. So I think Bryn probably just, he's either going to call here or he's going to check raise, and Mike will either call or.
Now, Bryn's still deep, too, relative to the blinds.
Yeah.
But he does check raise.
Yeah, really quickly.
He's going to build the pot right away. And he check raises to $415,000.
All right, so I'm really curious here if Mike's just going to shove this on him or if he's just going to call. It seems like he's just, I don't know. It's really close.
If Wang shoves, does Kenny call?
He can't really call off with just 9 high flush draw. Just make it flush draw. Like, he doesn't have a straight draw to go with it. Which is why you sometimes put yourself in a tough spot here by check raising. But I guess he's deep enough that he doesn't expect Mike just to shove on him. He expects him to fold or just call. and I kind of expect the same thing. But Mike's, kind of on a roll, and maybe he just decides to make a move and try and take this pot down right here.
See, Wang's a 4-1 favorite if this hand goes to showdown. Looks like he's just going to call, though.
Yeah. So, there you go.
And he does make the call.
So, Mike's not calling here on the flop to give up. So, depending, like if the turn was a brick and Kenny bets again, Mike's at least calling, maybe even shoving on the turn.
Wow, the turn is the 9 of diamonds.
And so, Kenny picks up a pair.
The tables have turned. Now
Mike
look at
picks
Kenny.
up the straight draw to go with his flush draw. So, now if Kenny bets again, Mike might turn his hand into a semi-bluff and raise the turn. Bryn might check here, though. Because
now that he's got some showdown value.
He might check or he might check raise, but he's just going to continue and sort of maybe rep 10 jack. He just puts himself in a really difficult spot if Mike raises on the turn. So he's betting about 750 or so.
When you watch poker, is it like this for you? Just like stream of conscious, just keep going. I love it.
Yeah, I try to put myself in the player's shoes. And
765,000.
Kenny bets 765,000. Pot is now 1.9 million. Wang's got a gut shot plus the flush draw. He can also catch a jack.
Yeah, so he's not folding. He's just either, he's basically like raising or shoving on Bryn or just calling here.
Kenny has 2.6 million behind.
The tough spot for Mike here is he doesn't expect Bryn to be folding very often if he shoves. So he might just call again. I see that. I see that tweet. Did James Wood beat?
I'm thinking the same thing you're thinking, and we'll get to that in a second after this hand.
This is a huge hand here, so yeah, Mike's just gonna make the call, and I think he's just basically decided Bryn's not folding.
We're gonna see the river.
All right, let's see the river. So Bryn might, turn his hand into a bluff if the river's a brick, but wow, look at that.
It's a 10 of hearts. You've got to be kidding me.
Like
I don't. Is there any way Kenny can get away from this? No.
I don't think so. I think he's going to just value shove.
I mean, the pot's 2.68 million. He's got 2.5 million left.
See here. What Bryn's going to think is he's going to hope Mike has a jack, and he's just never going to fold it.
And Mike probably has a lot of jacks in his range.
Absolutely. So Bryn might just value shove here.
This is insane. By the way, James Woods did win his match for Stug Polk.
He
will be at the final table tomorrow. That'll be streamed here on WSOP.com. Let's see what Kenny bets.
So he might not shove, but then Mike's going to shove on him.
And he can't fold.
And Bryn, Bryn's going to have to call, thinking that Mike might just be shoving like ace jack or something.
2 coolers in a row, and a huge bet here, over 1.6 million.
Mike might not shove because he doesn't have the best flush.
You're losing just the ace, though.
When
the
ace
king and the queen
flush
are
draw
out there.
is in Bryn's raise, in his range. So Mike's got a tough decision here. Do I shove or do I just call? Bryn doesn't have that much behind, so he might just shove because he's not losing that much more if Bryn did have the ace-high flush. And there are some hands that Bryn can call with that Mike has beat. So I think he is going to value shove here.
I got to tell you, when my decision on the river is do I call or shove, I'm not that upset. I'm like, do I just call him or do I shove for value? I'm feeling pretty good. I don't feel bad for this guy right now.
No.
Michael Wang in just amazing shape here. He came to the final table, 7th in chips. And if he shoves here, the tournament could be over.
Yeah, I think it's over here. I think he's going to shove, and Bryn's going to throw up in his mouth and probably call. See, Bryn is so confident here. He thinks he just won a monster
Well, of
pot,
course.
And now all of a sudden Mike's going to say all in, and Bryn's going to throw something. Oh.
Is there anything worse than getting there and then having your opponent move all in on you?
Yeah,
you hit your hand and it's no good?
Bryn doesn't think Mike's thinking about whether or not to raise here. He's thinking about whether or not I'm going to call. And Bryn's trying to hold his poker face, trying to get him to call him. And then all of a sudden he's going to hear the worst 2 words he could ever hear.
Kenny only is going to have 1 million behind. When Wang shoves, it's never a bluff, right?
Unless Wang has the naked ace of hearts. Maybe Wang has ace-8 with the ace of hearts, and he was bluff catching, and now he's going to turn his hand into a bluff, which just looks so insanely strong, and maybe he can get Bryn to fold some hands.
Fold a jack maybe or something.
he can't expect Bryn ever to fold a jack if he was bluffing here. So it'd be pretty hard to bluff here with just the naked ace of hearts. But
It's not PLO.
yeah.
PLO, sure, I could see it.
Mike's taking such a long time here.
He really is.
He's just really trying to decide, if it's worth giving away the extra million if Bryn has the ace high flush. I can't see him just calling here though with the second nuts. Yeah, all in. And
There's the all in.
I really wanted to see Bryn's face at that exact moment.
I know.
Yeah,
there it is.
That's
I mean, I'm laughing, but I'm not.
As I said, Bryn was going to throw something, so he threw his glasses.
Yeah.
I feel so bad for Bryn.
I mean,
Just
this
such
is
a sick hand.
I got to tell
hands.
you, I know you and Bryn are friends, and he played a masterful final table. If he makes this call, obviously, which he probably will do, it'll be over for him. But nothing went his way heads up.
Yeah.
But he played flawless throughout. I mean, his bluffs were working, his value bets were working, his hero calls, and unfortunately,
so Bryn's counting how much he has left and thinking about just.
He's got more than $1 million, by the way. He's got 1.1, 1.2, 1.7, 1.7 and change. Because each one of those stacks is 100,000 of orange, and the stack of green is 500,000. So he's got 1.7 million there.
What Bryn has to figure out here is what hands is Mike shoving that he has beat? Is Mike shoving ace jack, the nut straight? Is he shoving a lower flush draw? Maybe 6. No, he can't have 6-7 of hearts because Bryn has a 6 of hearts.
5-4 of hearts.
6-8 of hearts. I don't think he.
8-4 of hearts.
Sorry, 8-7, 7-8 of hearts.
The thing is, heads up, a player will have way more combinations.
Yeah.
He could have 8-4 of hearts. He could have 8-3 of hearts even.
Yeah, I don't think Mike would be shoving a lower flush. It's such a tough spot.
Well, if he's not shoving a lower flush, he's not shoving ace jack then, is he?
But yeah, that's what Bryn's going through right now, is trying to figure out how many combination of hands is Mike shoving that he has beat, and then the tiny amount of times that Mike is just bluffing with the ace of hearts.
By the way, if he folds this, he still has almost 30 big blinds. He'll have about 28 big blinds.
Yeah, but you're just counting how much money is in the pot and how many times you're good. Yeah, he called off.
He makes the call. He makes the call. Michael Wang is going to show him the bad news. And Michael Wang is our champion at event number 2. And you got to feel it for Bryn Kenny. I mean, 2 hands in a row. He flops 2 pair. He flops a pair. He rivers 2 pair. And Michael Wang had a straight
really happy
flush or flush.
Mike's a really nice kid, and he's been on the circuit for quite a while, and what an accomplishment for him.
I don't think Bryn's ever going to let you commentate on any more of his final tables, though.
I'm sure he'd be happy to have anything